Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Hi. Sorry, I just had a student read that song, so it's stuck in my heart. Ooh. So, you want to be a good student. How do you do that? Do you know how to be a good student? Let's get the clicked on this video. Hi, I'm Annalise. I'm a qualified singing teacher and I have been teaching for a number of years. I'm your guide to this world of singing lessons. So you want to be a good student and you're not really sure what to do because you've never had music lessons before. Well, I'll give you some tips. The first tip is to be on time. Now I'm weird. I kind of like to be 5 minutes early at the latest. So you have to remember that you're not the only student. There is going to be a student before you and there's going to be a student after you. So if you are running late, you're either going to have your lesson cut short or it's going to run over time and the other students are going to have all their lessons late. So just remember that. Remember that. Another tip is to have all your music equipment stuff with you. So that could be obviously your music. And what else do you need? Well, if you had another instrument, if you're doing another actual instrument, it would be the instrument. With singing, I kind of get everyone, make sure you have your music, your water, your notebook. If you have a teacher who writes everything in your notebook, bring the notebook. And I always just have all your music stuff in a separate bag. It's nice to have it all in one little bag and you can just go whoop, gravity grab. Another thing, you should practice every day. It doesn't have to be, I know some people, two-step violin, they suggest 40 hours a day, but I try to be reasonable with singing. You kind of don't want to overdo it with singing because you don't want to damage the vocal cords, so I do suggest at least 5 minutes a day of serious practice. I mean, with singing you can just practice anytime really, as long as you practice your breathing, and if you don't feel like singing, just talk your lyrics out, if that makes any sense. Well, to my students it makes sense. So editing me here, if you are able to fit in a half hour to an hour of solid practice every day, that is great. The good thing about singing is that you can basically practice anytime, anywhere, so you can practice when you're doing household chores or when you're driving somewhere. And you can scatter your practice throughout the day. I'd rather you do a little bit of practice every day rather than no practice at all right up until your lesson and then cram it all in, because I'm gonna be able to tell. Okay, editing me out. What is going on? So another tip is to not overtake your lesson. You have to remember you are there for a lesson. You are there to learn from your teacher. You are not the teacher. You are not the one doing the teaching. I've dealt with students who kind of just wanted to quickly get on to the next thing. They kind of like, done a song, cool. Once I'm done with the song and I'm happy with what the student's done, then we can get on to the next song. Alright, so remember, listen to your teacher. They know what they're doing, hopefully. Make sure you do your payments on time. Like with my students, it really depends. Sometimes they pay me in cash or check every lesson, or I send out an invoice for every term or for a set of lessons. So just remember to pay them on time. I do understand life can get in the way sometimes, but teachers have bills to pay. Do keep lines of communications open. So if you can't make it to a lesson for any reason, please let your teacher know. Like on a few random odd occasions, I've had parents completely forget to tell me that their kid wasn't coming that day. And then they've been super apologetic afterwards, which was good. But just imagine, like, I'm usually sitting in my music room waiting and I'm thinking, oh, 5 minutes late. Are they running late? And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, okay, they're not coming to their lesson. So just remember your teacher is sitting in their in their music room waiting and wondering where you are. So please let them know. In other words, don't ghost them. Oh, the number of times I have been ghosted. Oh, that'd be fun. Yay. Okay, and finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, younger students, they're curious. Sometimes they get scared to ask anything. But I'm like, no. Like sometimes, always in the lesson, I go, does that make sense? Any questions? Stuff like that. Speaking of questions, do you have any questions? Was this video helpful? If you did, thing and whatever.